Shyrel Swoopes, she can't not try to light a fire involving Caitlin Clark. She can't just be good. She's trolling Caitlin Clark again, this time by celebrating the arrival of Paige Bueckers.
With that being said, you big dummies, you getting paid now.
Right.
You asked me about Caitlin. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that player said it.
Okay.
Right?
Shyrel Swoopes made her latest move, and this one was loud without saying a word. She showed up wearing a Paige Bueckers t-shirt, not to celebrate a rising star, but to throw another sly jab at Caitlin Clark. It's not the first time Swoopes has gone out of her way to undermine Caitlin, and let's be honest, it won't be the last.
They will recognize, her game, but they won't recognize her impact.
Because the more Clark shines, the more uncomfortable it makes certain people who once ruled the spotlight.
Everybody now has an opportunity to pull up their chair and have a seat.
And instead of lifting up the next generation, Swoopes keeps playing bitter games, hoping no one notices the pattern. But we do.
We saw her get replaced during the Fever game for the Dallas Wings commentary team last year because of words and the hate she had towards Caitlin Clark. And it was just one thing after another. I said yesterday, even Stephen A. Smith crushed her last year.
This isn't about Paige. It's about pushing a narrative that Caitlin Clark doesn't belong. And it's getting old.
Because when she comes to the league, regardless of what team she goes to that has vets on that team, she probably ain't gonna get 40 shots a game.
Caitlin earned her place through record-breaking performances, pure hustle, and real impact. Not politics, not drama.
While Caitlin is fantastic, and I think she's going to have an incredible career in the WNBA.
Who's going to be the next face of the NBA? We don't get to decide that. The marketplace decides that. The people have chosen Caitlin Clark.
What is she doing wrong? What more do you want from Caitlin Clark? Seriously, what more do you want from her? She's focusing on the game. She lifted her team up, got them to the playoffs, won Rookie of the Year, and then also is denouncing racial tensions when she's asked about it. I'm sorry, I don't see anything more that Caitlin Clark should have done or could have done.
If you're done watching legends act like gatekeepers and you stand with Caitlin Clark, flood the comments with CC100, because this isn't just petty, it's calculated, and we're not falling for it.
She was remarkable on top of the fact that she had to deal with so much hate when she got to the WNBA.
Let's stop pretending this is new. Shyrel Swoopes has had Caitlin Clark in her sights for over a year now, and it's become impossible to ignore. This isn't some one-off comment or a misinterpreted opinion. It's a steady stream of digs, dismissals, and downright disrespect that started long before Caitlin even played her first WNBA game.
I can't imagine this young lady, I don't want to use hate, but despised. And people just having, she brought some on herself a little bit because she's cocky for a good reason.
Confident.
And I love that about her. But to watch the dynamics and the media, they had their narrative. And I was pleased and proud to see the narrative wasn't the truth.
From side-eyeing Clark's college success to openly criticizing her impact on the league, Swoopes has been on a mission to minimize Caitlin's rise at every turn. Remember when she tried to downplay Caitlin's hype during last year's NCAA tournament? Or when she was pulled from commentary duties because of her anti-Clark stance? Even Stephen A. Smith had to step in and call her out for refusing to give Caitlin the credit she deserves.
It was a stupid decision because it compromises what your ultimate goal is, which is to elevate the WNBA brand.
That's not an oversight, that's an agenda. And when your bias is so loud that networks start backing away from you, that's saying something. What we're watching isn't just personal, it's calculated. Swoopes knows exactly what she's doing. She's part of that old school WNBA circle that sees Caitlin not as the league's future, but as a threat to their legacy. And when Caitlin came in breaking records and drawing more eyes to the WNBA than they've seen in years, it shook the foundation.
Right, and that's what a lot of these women are doing, is they feel like what we have done for this game, this young player has come into our game, and she's getting way more respect and all that stuff than we are. As she should. The young girl is a baller. The young girl has people watching because of the way she can shoot this basketball like Steph Curry. Steph Curry can't dunk. Steph Curry don't do none of that in the game. He can probably dunk by himself, but he don't really do none of that in the game. He is a shooter, and fans tune in to see Steph Curry.
This isn't about basketball anymore. It's about control. Caitlyn's success is rewriting the narrative, and Swoopes can't stand not being the one holding the pen. And let's not forget the numbers. Caitlyn's rookie year was statistically stronger than Swoopes' entire MVP season. That's not a slight. It's just facts.
Wake up and be mad. Never forget, in Swoopes' MVP season, she averaged less points, assists, and rebounds than Caitlin Clark's rookie season. Caitlin Clark's rookie year was quite a bit better than Shyrel Swoopes' MVP season.
So instead of passing the torch, Swoopes is clinging to it like it's her last shot at relevance. Every backhanded comment, every public jab, it's not about critique, it's about clout. And what better way to keep your name trending than to poke the player everyone's watching?
You know, Jax, you're absolutely right. And I was like, come on, you big dummies. Is she getting hyped? Yes. But she was in the backyard. She was putting in the same time, sometimes maybe more than you were.
Right.
I can't fault her for what she was given.
So yes, the WNBA was growing before Caitlin Clark. Make that abundantly clear. But it was growing incrementally compared to the exponential growth you're seeing now.
When Shyrel Swoopes appeared on Gilbert Arenas' podcast wearing a Paige Bueckers t-shirt, it wasn't just a fashion choice, it was a statement.
Hey, what are you doing? Look at this. Just stays, man. Were y'all talking about Caitlin Clark at this very moment? She knows what she's doing.
And not the innocent kind. On the surface, it may have looked like she was showing love to a young, talented baller entering the league. But anyone who's been watching this drama unfold knows it was anything but pure. This was Swoopes sending a coded message to Caitlin Clark and her supporters. I don't support you, but look, I'm still down with white players, just not you.
Now, I've got a theory. Oh, look at me. I'm not really racist because I'm wearing the white girl's shirt. You see that? But the girl from the Midwest, y'all just happen to hate her completely.
It was a stunt dressed in cotton, and fans immediately saw through it. Let's be real, Shyrel Swoopes has never had a problem with Paige Bueckers. And why would she? Paige fits the mold that many in the WNBA inner circle are comfortable with.
The only problem with this is, and this has been the problem the whole time with the Paige-Caitlin comparison, Paige is an activist basketball player just like these old WNBA players that's been in the league. All right, they're shilling she's all up in all the social stuff. And so that's why they're letting her in. That's why they're cool with her.
Politically active, socially aligned, and safely within the ideological bubble the league's old guard loves to protect. She's embraced causes, leaned into activism, and checked all the boxes that make her acceptable to the same people who constantly bash Caitlin.
The reason that Caitlin Clark is getting all of this attention is because she is an anomaly. She is a phenomenal player. And Paige Bueckers is also a phenomenal player, but it just isn't the same. She doesn't do the same things. She doesn't do the things that have never been seen.
In their eyes, Paige is the right kind of star. But Caitlin dares to be different. She's from Iowa. She's not loud about politics. She lets her game speak. And that silence, that refusal to bend, makes her a target.
If I was the WNBA, I would have considered a separate television package to a network on just Caitlin Clark games. I would have had two packages, the WNBA package, and then a separate, let's say, 15 to 18 game Caitlin Clark package.
They enjoy watching her play, her style, her energy, her shot. Whether it's because her game mirrors one of the greatest players in the NBA in Steph Curry or not, I don't know what it is. It's an intangible thing, right? Yes, we can say she's a dog. Okay, there's been other dogs. Okay, she's a great shooter. There's been other great shooters. She has it. She's got the thing.
And for Caitlin Clark to have the awareness to drive the eyeballs there, you have to give her so much credit.
So when Swoopes rocks that Paige Bueckers shirt, it's not because she's suddenly a super fan. It's because she's trying to use Paige to send a shot at Caitlin without saying her name.
I've known Shyrel since she was in college. I helped do her shoe deal with Nike in 1993, took her to her first ESPYs. I've known Shyrel, I've coached her, have a lot of respect for her. I called her when Caitlin was still playing at Iowa and she had just broken Maravich's record. And it was all over the place, as you and I have discussed, that, there was this quote by Shyrel that said, Caitlin was, 25 years old. She was, however old, 24 years old. She was a fifth-year senior.
Right.
She was taking 40 shots a game. Her records were illegitimate.
It's a tactic as old as time. Play the comparison game, pit one woman against another, and mask the hate with a smile. But what makes this one so disingenuous is that it's not even subtle anymore. Swoopes is hoping people will ignore her history of animosity and think, oh, look, she's just supporting a young player. But context matters, and this context screams deflection and gaslighting.
Two things. I think it has to show up in our storytelling, and it has to be encouraged by our families.
Yeah.
To me, right? And so covering the WNBA this past season, Caitlin Clark's rookie year, for all of the conversation that surrounded her, some which was fair and some which wasn't, the one thing that I cannot deny is the amount of little girls that were showing up to follow her. Little girls with their parents and the fervor and the energy there.
Why her?
Same thing.
Why her?
Well,
Here's what it comes down to. Paige Bueckers deserves to be celebrated on her own merits, but not as a pawn in someone else's agenda.
We want to see Caitlin Clark and we want to see Paige Bueckers.
Caitlin scored more points per game, but Paige was more efficient.
The real problem is that Swoopes doesn't want to deal with the fact that Caitlin Clark is already outshining nearly every WNBA player, past or present, in terms of influence, ratings, and fan engagement.
Most points by a point guard in a season in WNBA history. Most double-doubles by a rookie guard in WNBA history. Most points by a rookie in WNBA history. Most assists by a rookie in the history of the WNBA. First WNBA rookie to record 2 triple-doubles. First triple-double by a rookie in WNBA history. First triple-double in Fever history. The first player to be named WNBA Player of the Month and Rookie of the Month in the same month. First player in WNBA history with 20 or more points, 15 or more assists, and 5 or more rebounds in a game.
So instead of acknowledging that fact, she hides behind a t-shirt and hopes no one notices the pattern. But we notice. And more importantly, we remember. Because every time Caitlin breaks another record or draws another sold-out crowd, the bitterness gets louder and the jealousy gets harder to hide.
Caitlin Clark is the GOAT.
She signed my jersey. So happy, I'm crying. I'm so happy. This is the best day ever.
Caitlin Clark effect seems to be crazier than year one.
I love watching her score and just everything about her.
They went the extra mile just to watch her play here.
This is great news for women's basketball. Period.
She just brings so much passion to the game, and look at all these people that just want to come and see her.
It is no secret that the Indiana Fever are the most popular team in the WNBA. It is good for the entire WNBA.
At this point, let's stop sugarcoating it. Shyrel Swoopes isn't trolling Caitlin Clark because of her style of play or attitude. She's doing it because Clark did in one rookie season what others couldn't manage in a decade. Make people care. Caitlin filled arenas, broke viewership records, and forced even the most casual sports fans to pay attention to the WNBA.
What happened is Caitlin Clark in her sophomore year and really in her junior year just started excelling and doing things that nobody had ever seen a female basketball player do. Like nobody had consistently been shooting these from the logo passes.
And here's the truth no one in that old guard wants to admit. Caitlin Clark has become bigger than the league itself. That scares people. It shakes their sense of place, of legacy, of control. And it's the root of why someone like Swoopes, who once helped build the league, now seems determined to tear down the person bringing it back to life.
There's so many players who cite you as an inspiration for their games, including Caitlin Clark, who's just absolutely a phenomenon in college. What's that next step like for her?
You know, next steps, gosh, in this generation, right? You have, I think, just so many more challenges of how to handle yourself as an adult, right? You go through that whirlwind of being a senior in college, transitioning into the W. And then the next step is how to become just an even better leader. And so much of leadership, I think, is listening and learning. And hopefully the more she can get connected to vets in the league and just different people and coaches and anyone that she can glean wisdom from of how to just continue to learn how to be as a connected and inspiring leader as she can be. And a lot of that is walking the walk and not just talking the talk. So she's already on her way, but, continuing to have fun, continuing to anticipate how people are going to try to stop her and being prepared as she can be for next season.
This isn't just basketball beef, it's generational. It's political. It's cultural. Caitlin Clark doesn't fit the mold of what the WNBA's long-protected narrative has looked like. She isn't outspoken about social causes. She doesn't lean into identity politics. And she doesn't campaign for approval from the media or legacy players. She plays. She wins. She leads.
I remember when the WNBA started. I was thrilled. I was a fan. I couldn't believe it was an opportunity for me, a 5'2", 97-pound girl, to go play professional basketball. That wasn't going to happen for me. But the idea that it existed was special to me. And now she's offering that to not just little girls, but little boys as well. She's spread the fan base. So
she won Rookie of the Month 4 times, Eastern Conference Player of the Week 3 times, single season rookie record for assists, single season rookie record for 3-pointers, single game record for assists 19, franchise record for most double-doubles, 3-pointers, career 10 or more assists in a game, franchise record for most career 10 or more assists in a game. Fastest WNBA player to reach 100 3-pointers. She did it in 34 games, most assists by a rookie in a WNBA All-Star game, for which she received the most fan votes ever, 700,000 of those. Fastest player to reach 350 points and 150 assists to start a season, regardless of years in the league. People will say, pay more attention to the other folks. Like, she couldn't do it herself. You know, LeBron has teammates, Jordan had teammates. I understand.
That makes her a threat, not just to Swoopes' ego, but to a whole ecosystem built on controlling who gets to shine and who doesn't. And when someone breaks that mold, the system reacts aggressively. Just look at the way her every move is dissected. The passes she makes are questioned. The fouls she draws are debated. The praise she gets is labeled as favoritism. Meanwhile, other rookies make mistakes, lose games, or throw shade and get nothing but silence. Why the double standard? Because Clark's success is inconvenient. It reminds the league's gatekeepers that someone from outside the club, someone they didn't anoint, can take the crown anyway. It reminds them that pure, undeniable talent still speaks louder than politics, and that's something they can't spin or suppress. And let's talk stats. Caitlin Clark's rookie numbers are historic, outpacing legends, reshaping expectations, and drawing mainstream media attention the WNBA hasn't seen in years. She's not just a great player, she's a movement. And that movement is made up of fans from all walks of life, including many who don't align with the politics the league pushes. That fan base makes the media uncomfortable. It makes players like Swoopes uncomfortable. So instead of leaning into the moment and evolving, they dig in their heels and get defensive. They try to discredit, to control the narrative, to paint Clark as the problem when really she's the progress they claim to want.
Angel Reese is never going to improve her basketball skills. Check this out.
I see you miss layups just like they do and everything, but forget them. You know, I mean, I miss layups too. So, I mean,
everybody miss layups, but they can't get mad if I get the rebound. Box me out.
Yeah. Don't be mad because your fade didn't box her out. That's what I say. Period.
I see your miss layups like they do, but forget them. What the fuck do you mean forget them? This is why Angel Reese's game is never going to get better, y'all. Her mom telling her this and her fans are the same exact way. Zero accountability, bro. Imagine this, y'all. You playing basketball in front of the whole world. People have been constantly criticizing your game and you messing up on the court. There's all this film and everything about what you need to do better and what you're messing up on. And your mom is just sitting here telling you, well, forget them. Just forget them, bro. Like, that's terrible advice. Like we see why Angel Reese is the way that she is. Man, look at how her mom is just talking to her, telling her just forget them, bro. But then y'all are so mad that the world doesn't like her and talk so much shit about her, bro.
Right.
And then she's like, oh, everybody misses layups. I'm so tired of this everybody misses layups thing. Yes. A whole bunch of basketball players miss layups, but people are not missing layups like Angel Reese, bro.
Fact.
Statistically the worst finisher in the league. So that means you're last and at the bottom. So that means you're the worst and nobody is missing like you are. God, this is not rocket science. Angel Reese GPA holders, bro. This is not rocket science, man. This is amazing. Y'all just cannot keep it real with this girl, bro. That's why she looks like an unrivaled. That clip that just came out with her getting blocked by Breanna Stewart like 3 times or something, and then she finally made this shot, bro. That's why her game looks like it's not even improved at all, man. And then the whole, you gotta box me out to get the, bro, you should be making the shot, bro. Instead of sitting up here talking about, people aren't boxing you out and all of this bullshit. Like, if you make the shot, bro, we wouldn't be even sitting up here talking about these whole rebounds and over and that bullshit, man. But it's crazy, bro. It's crazy I came across that clip. I just saw somebody post it today, and I'm like, damn, bro. No wonder this girl does not take accountability.
But here's what they don't understand. Caitlin Clark doesn't need their permission. She doesn't need their validation. And she certainly doesn't need to change who she is to fit into their box. The more they hate, the more her fans show up. The more they discredit, the more her game silences them. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about who's more woke or who checks more boxes. It's about who delivers. And Caitlin Clark delivers on the court, at the box office, and in every conversation where people are talking about the future of women's basketball. So let them talk. Let them throw shade, wear shirts, and make snarky podcast appearances. Because while they cling to old narratives, Caitlin is out there rewriting history and doing it with grace, talent, and power they just can't control. And here we are again, watching yet another failed attempt to downplay Caitlin Clark's legacy by dragging in unrelated names and stirring drama for clicks and clout. Shyrel Swoopes has made her position loud and clear, not through thoughtful analysis, not through fair criticism, but by grasping at headlines and turning sports commentary into personal vendettas. Wearing a Paige Bueckers shirt on a podcast isn't subtle. It's a billboard-sized jab dressed up as sisterhood. But here's the problem. You don't uplift one woman by tearing another down. That's not empowerment. That's just hate in high heels.
It almost felt like marketers were trying to figure out, like, yeah, we have all of these amazing players and these amazing personalities, but can we push the demographic? And then when Caitlin Clark got to the league, the Angel Reese's got to the league, and they might have been fouled hard. The same thing I saw happen with Shamika Holtzclaw, though.
You see my tooth knocked out?
Yeah,
Rookie season, Jewel Lloyd. My tooth knocked out. I still didn't get it.
So how do you?
It's cool.
T-Clark, how do you feel about the fact that all of a sudden it was, oh, it's too physical. Oh, they're going at them because they're stars. What was your reaction to some of the new viewers and fans to the game thinking that the WNBA was too rough?
It was a crazy season because we have never had so much momentum behind our league, so much support, demand, viewership, all that, accessibility. But the craziness that came with the new fandom was rooted in something other than fandom, right? And I think that's very evident to see across the board. In a lot of ways, it has not been about basketball. Like, we can talk about, people getting fouled. I just showed you my tooth getting knocked out. Like, that's been a part of the game. The game has always been physical. I can tell you the amount of times I've left with bloody lips and eyes. I have bruises all over my body, even from the game last night. You can see bruises on my elbow from last night. Like, It's just a part of the game. So there was no targeting. There was no nothing.
Right.
That narrative that got spun into, oh, the vets hate the rookies hate the vets are going after certain players. It's all bullshit. Like, if I'm just gonna be frank, it's all bullshit. What it is racism, right? It gets blown up into, oh, they're going after Caitlin Clark, but no, we're just playing one of the best players that's in this league the way that any other best player, franchise player is gonna get played. Watch how Stewie gets played. Watch how Asia gets played. Watch how Enrique gets played. Watch how Khalid gets played. Go down the list of franchise players for every team. They be getting fucked up every game. It don't matter what position you are, what color you are, what school you came out of. This is how we feed our families. Our job is to go and win, and if we don't win, what happens? We get fired. We lose our jobs. So
Caitlin Clark has done something rare in sports. She's united people, fans from all political walks of life, young girls in Iowa who now believe they can lead the league, older fans who hadn't watched a WNBA game in years, but now set reminders to see her in action. She's crushed rookie records, silenced doubters, and forced mainstream networks to cover a league they used to ignore. So when Swoopes or anyone else tries to twist the narrative, all it does is reveal how deeply Clark's success has shaken the old guard. Instead of adapting, they attack. Instead of mentoring, they mock. But Caitlyn's not slowing down. Every time someone tries to discredit her, she lets her game do the talking. That's why she keeps winning. That's why her name trends without her even speaking. And that's why these petty attempts to displace her relevance by dangling other players won't work. Paige Bueckers is incredibly talented, and her time will come. But her name shouldn't be used as a pawn in some sad campaign to undermine Clark. We see through it. The fans see through it. And more importantly, Caitlin Clark? She's already 10 steps ahead. So to those still hoping to sabotage her success, whether through shade, silence, or stage symbolism, here's a newsflash. The game has changed, and Caitlin Clark is the reason.